Welcome to the 4th episode of Talk It Up with Taylor. I'm your host, Taylor Gattoni. This time we're going to do things a little bit different. You'll see what I mean in just a few seconds. Hello! So this is what I mean. We're going to do some videos, or at least try to do videos. I know that in the first episode, I wasn't really sure if I wanted a podcast or a show or I don't even know what else. Or like this, a vlog. Yeah, right? That's fine. Anyways, we decided to go comfy casual because I didn't want to dress up. I didn't feel like it. We wanted to be laid back, and that's the whole vibe. So we're going to do just that. I did want to start this off with some shout outs. I know that we've only had 3 episodes air so far. I shouldn't say air. We've had them posted so far. And I've had some suggestions from a few people, some friends and some friends from long ago that have reached out and have given me feedback and have enjoyed the podcast. So I'm really happy that you guys are watching, that you do have suggestions, and that you're communicating and talking about it. So thank you. That means a lot. We got Fergie. Now you can see Fergie. And I guess I can also see what she's doing in the background. She was kind of a spaz earlier. I don't know if you can see. Oh, the microphone cord. Rookie move. Anyway, she was playing with the cord, so I had to keep like yanking it up like a yo-yo. But it's fine. Anyway, back to the shout outs. Here is, we have the selfie light. You saw the light in the screen, but we're going to darken it so that you guys can actually see this. Anyway, one of the friends, McKay, back in the day, if we put it to the side, it works. So we put together a little logo or like a fan piece of art, and it's really nice. So look at that. We're going to put that up somewhere on the website. I'm not exactly sure where yet, but thank you, McKay. That means a lot. And I've heard from a few others that you've enjoyed the conversations that I've had on here. Conversation with myself and then going to you, but how it's helped you in, I guess, opening up those perspectives. And we talked about perspectives in the last episode. We also talked about the good and the bad, which I wanted to talk on real briefly. Is had a tough day at work. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have your ups and downs. And I always try to tell myself, take it easy. Try to find the good and the bad, right? And sometimes it's just hard. You're in such a mindset, in such a fog that you can't break yourself free and be like, you can't think of the positives in that moment. You're like, even though I can see the positives at times, it's like this bad is just weighing me down right now and it's cluttered. And so what I wanted to get at, there was like a little accent there. Anyway, very ADHD right now, so you're going to see a lot of that. Welcome. Train of thought. This is what happens. And now I feel like it's more vulnerable that I'm like on camera again. I'm like blinking. But I think this will help. This will help for work, you know, having a more conversational in front of a camera. Who knows? Oh, it was a tough day at work, and I couldn't get myself out of it. But I thought, and I was like, it's okay if you express those feelings or emotions of anger or sadness or something that doesn't necessarily make you feel joyful. I'm going to bring up the movie Inside Out. You can't have the joy without the other things, or you might not appreciate it as much if you didn't have the challenges in your life. So the appreciation aspect for the good, because you've had the negative or bad experiences or challenges. So you appreciate those too. You can't just appreciate one thing. You have to appreciate all of it, because that's what gets it here. It's the pitter patter. It's the domino effect. I feel like I talk about the domino effect a lot. So it's okay if you're not always your best version of yourself, as long as you do your best, which is a book I want to talk about. It's called The 4 Agreements. I'm sure some of you have read it. And actually, going back to Cassidy recommended this book. And I know one of my other friends, Heidi, there you go. Shout out to Heidi. She also read this book. So I was like, what the heck? I'll read the book. And it was really mind-changing. But it's one of those where you read it and you're like, now that I have the awareness, we got to follow suit. So is it follow suit, follow through? Can I use follow suit? This is what happens in my bloopers when I'm at work. I'm like, does this make sense? Is this English? Do people understand? Do I understand? And it's a chaotic scene, but it's fine. But as long as you don't get stuck in that rut, that whole mindset, it's okay to feel those feelings and express them. Like, feel them so you can get them out and understand them. But then you want to make sure you don't get stuck into that pattern of anger or sadness or feeling like the world is against you and playing victim. Because, again, you make your own choices, so you're almost the narrator or guider of your life. Which, talking about, have my notes. On here I say, I wrote down like observer. And I noticed how recently, I guess within the past year, I've been observing what I do a lot, not just my thoughts, a lot about my thoughts. Living alone, even with a crazy cat, just, you have a lot of time to think to yourself. And for someone who already thinks so much, even when there's things going on and I'm around people, being alone is just, you got to get it out. So that's why we're here. We're here to talk it up. But yeah, so recently I feel like I've been playing the observer in my life. That's like the phase I'm in right now, is just observing other people's actions and not like psychoanalyzing them, but maybe psychoanalyzing them just to see like why they are the way they are, what they do, and trying to understand them so maybe I can understand myself better or have that kind of understanding between each other. Going along with what I've observed is how, in relation to Talk It Up, how I'm just over here talking to a black hole, the camera, which will soon be you guys. It's, what day is it? It's Friday. Today's Friday, and you're going to see this in a few days. So you guys were like a few weeks to like a month behind, is what it is. But we're all caught up now, and this is going to air on Talk It Up Tuesday, so you guys can all see that. You're welcome, I know. We're jumping around again. So if we go back to the script, the little chicken scratch I have on here of ideas. The first one I wrote down was Yogos. I'm going to say that again. Yogos. Like Kellogg's Yogos. Do you remember? Let me bring it back for you. I love Yogos. They're just great. A jelly like inside with like a yogurt covered outside. Okay, pause. Like a chocolate covered pretzel, but it was like a gelatin type of filling. So good. So good. I brought it in for one of my birthday treats. You know how you would bring in like either cookies or brownies or little store-bought cupcakes, and you'd bring them in for the class and teachers, and you'd go to different classes and you'd be like, oh, it's my birthday. I brought you a treat. I don't know why we brought each other treats. Someone at work did that the other day, though, and it was very nice. That's what it reminded me of, actually. That's how we recalled that memory. So it was really cute, though, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of, like, elementary school, and not, like, in a mean way. I just, like, it's an endearing way. So I was thinking about Yogos again, which is kind of a common thought that I do have. So Kellogg's, if you're watching this, please bring Yogos back. It would be greatly appreciated. I did actually write an email to them, and I have screenshots of that on my phone, which I'm recording on right now, so I'll have to show you guys another time or read it out. But I sent them an email, and I was like, Dear Kellogg's, where are the Yogos? Some variation of that. I was like, you know, I really love the Yogos. They were great, a childhood memory. I know a lot of other people are asking, you know, why'd they leave? And they did respond, which was nice. But they said they would not be bringing them back because they were not that popular to people. And I was like, what are you talking about? So guys, let's start a petition and bring Yogos back. If there's going to be any sort of goal of Talk It Up, it's going to be bringing Yogos back. We have our priorities straight. It's okay. Yogos. I just wanted to write that down and share that with you guys. There was no really significance behind it. I guess we talk about childhood in here too. Talked about childhood trauma. We'll go more into that. You know, why not? I think it's we should dive into childhood trauma. But it's so different for everybody because there's so many traumas, and then depending on where you faced it in your life, that's going to ripple effect. Again, domino effect. Change how you live your life later on. So I thought with having a video, we'd be a little bit more on track. But I think it's not. Because I'm so looking into it that I'm not looking at my notes all the time, which is fine. It's more natural, but you're going to get more jumpiness. But yeah, for all of you parents and adults, I just want to say sorry. Taking care of yourself is one thing, and then taking care of another person is something completely different. Most parents I know raise their kids to be respectful, to be a good person, and to just have a good, happy life. And so parents do everything they can. I work with, adults, parents, and I've seen some of them just go that extra mile, extra marathon, in fact, for their kids. And just seeing the work that they put in, and not because of their kids, but because they love their kids and they want to support them, they are working these crazy hours. The last thing I think we're going to talk about in this episode, we're going to try to keep it a shorter one just because, again, this is the first time we're doing video and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I kind of like it, I kind of don't, but we'll play around and we'll see what you guys think, because ultimately this is for you guys to also watch and listen to. I know that I was kind of going for a podcast, so if you were in the car, that'd be a great way to go about it. I will eventually, three things, get a different background, perhaps. The next thing would be keeping it a podcast or doing just video, or why not both? So we have that as well, but that'd be like later down the line. We're just getting things rolling here. Anyway, I feel like anyway is like my favorite word. I was going to say it again. Last thing we will talk about, following up with the whole adulting, parenting, and just all that good stuff over there, is understanding and judgment, because I feel like the two not only go hand in hand, but they can have this like flip-flop effect. When you're a child, you kind of judge or form these thoughts and ideas as to why your parents are parenting in their style. And then you become older, the older the wiser you get, that whole fun quote. And you start to understand where they're coming from and just having that knowing of why they're doing what they're doing. But as you become older, you also, you become more of yourself. And because of that understanding, then you're like, wait, I understand this too, this kind of like role. But it also goes back to perspectives, because based on that perspective or your mindset, that can completely change how that situation came across, which can also alter the understanding. That about wraps it up. We're going to come full circle now to the observer and how I observed that I just jumped all over the place with the notes. That we did not follow through with that. But hey, they were there. We had stuff to talk about, and we talked about little things briefly, quickly, but that doesn't mean we won't talk about it again. It is Talk It Up. So thank you so much for listening to the 4th episode of Talk It Up with Taylor, and for making it even more special by having the first video version. So we're going to just see how this goes. I'm not really sure. We're still working out the kinks of everything. Okay, so if you would like to help me do that, if you have any feedback, suggestions, comments, if you just want to reach out, if you have any pieces of art that you would like to share, anything appropriate-wise, thank you very much. Going to put that disclaimer on there. You're going to go to talkitupwtaylor.weebly.com. That is Talk It Up's website, and that's where you're going to find, well, obviously you're on it. You're on the website if you're watching this. If you're not on the website, it's talkitupwtaylor.weebly.com. But if you're already on there listening and watching this, you're going to find everything else. So feel free to reach out on there. Let me know if there's any changes, updates, anything. Let me know. Okay, guys, have a great rest of the weekend. The weekend's here, but when you're listening to it, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you during the next Talk It Up Tuesday. Okay, have a great one. Bye-bye.